been a pretty startling evolution, and because Mr. and Mrs. B actually started this school to teach children to read, and they had a one-room schoolhouse, which is now the headmaster's office, and they read to those children every single day, several times a day. And it was all about becoming literate, because we feel, and she felt, that if you can read, you can master any subject. It's the foundation for all of our educational efforts. And so it was a very important thing to the Benjamins to get that reading program going.
This was always the biggest tree on the campus, and the children loved it. Children are read to every day, in every class. And we still try to do it, even in the middle and upper schools. My husband always said at the first of the year, read to the children, find time every day. No matter how old they are, read to the children. And it not only focuses their attention, but as adults, we speak more clearly, we enunciate properly.
Well, as a student, reading was always an integral part of the curriculum here at the Benjamin School. And Mr. Benjamin taught students how to read in kindergarten in room 1. And when the school started back in 1960, I was a student here the following year in 1961. And we learned to read in that little room, in room 1 with Mr. Benjamin.
Mrs. Hornaday came along. She started creating her little story space back in the back of the main library when she just had a corner to work in. And then it has evolved into what it is now, which is a whole room, all her own, that she can decorate one end to the other. And it's a beautiful room. I just wish everybody could see it every month when it changes.
It's 2 rooms that are completely transformed into a different environment. It could be the Everglades. Right now it's Halloween. And you go in there and you feel like you're not at school, that you're in a different oasis. It's amazing. And you're surrounded by books that all reflect the theme.
But the children love it. And they have a schedule. They go up, they sit down, and she's very, very creative.
The children, when they walk into that room, realize that they're just not words on a page. It's really their imagination that gets unlocked. The means is the words, but it's the atmosphere that's created in there that is the magic, that makes it real for each of these students. That the world is beyond the tangible. It's something that they can create in their imagination, and then there really is no limits or bounds to what they're able to achieve.
I love to see the look of anticipation on the children's faces when they walk in, especially when the theme's changed. Sometimes they're anxious, a little bit of trepidation, excitement, scary, especially now with the Halloween. I just think it's so important.
It's magical. On Halloween they decorate it like Halloween, and on the holidays they put menorahs and Christmas trees up. And on Valentine's Day we get to hold these things.
It is a special place because every time they decorate the Story Cottage, it's special. And for Halloween, they would do this: skeleton, pumpkins, scarecrows. And every time in Halloween, you would sometimes read scary stories or stories.
Mrs. Hornaday is a creative genius, and she loves the children. And she was a library assistant for a long time, but they finally gave her her little room, and she does everything with it. And the Story Cottage has become a tradition now with the lower school.
Granny H is encouraging them to read, and a love of reading, which I just think is so important. You can just see the excitement, the enjoyment. The children come out of the Story Cottage wanting to tell you what the story was about, and just enjoying it, and then rifling through the books trying to find one as exciting as the one Granny H has read to them. I'd love to have had a Granny H at my school and a Story Cottage when I was growing up.
Well, the Benjamin School is so privileged to have Granny H just because of her heart and her soul is put into her job. When you ask her, right after she changes it, I'll say, well, when were you here to do this? And she does it on the weekends, during her holidays, times when kids aren't even on campus. She's here finding the perfect things to put into the cottage, and it just shows me like such a deep dedication to it that it's just amazing.
I love it, and I love the children. And after my husband passed away, the children just brightened my day so much. They just meant so much to me. And the hugs and running up and screaming across the campus, Granny H! And they're waving, and it does. It just makes your whole day.
I love reading because the movie, if you see a TV or like a movie, like you don't get so much out of it like from a book. Because in a book, you step into the character's shoes and you act everything out. And you get a lot more facts in what they happened. I think reading is really fun, and it has reading is very important in the future of your life, because if you have to read, you have to know how to read to do almost everything.
When Granny H reads to us, and all the really cool decorations that they hang up, it makes you feel like you're in the storybook.
It's almost like family, going to someone's home. But as my children got older, they also realized, wow, it really increased my reading ability, it increased my reading volume, and it bonded the children together.
Reading, you actually learn more words and get to know what they mean, and get pictures of stories and how people lived back then and that stuff.
I think the greatest gift that you can give a child is a passion and a love of reading that will last a lifetime. And that is one thing that the Story Cottage does.
I hope the Story Cottage will always be a part of the school, whether we're here or not. Children need that spark of imagination, and it does help their creativity. And some of them go on to have careers in literature or teaching or theater and drama. It's all a part of the cultural life that we try to incorporate into the Benjamin School.